comp.
Oh.
This is going to be tough, right? Even though, honestly, we're talking about Aura Fire's composition, not aside, I guess only the Hylos and Karina can be pushed away, right? When Yuzong uses the Black Dragon form, he cannot be pushed. Grok as well when he's using his first ability. So it's all going to come down to execution.
Absolutely.
Timing as well.
Timing, execution, but let's get your opinions on this. Both of the drafts, Valor, the pocket pick has shown itself once more.
I'm gonna go for ONIC Esports again here.
ONIC again, Arashi.
I think at this one, I have to go for Aura, because it does seem like there's improvements, but for the most part, it's a very similar story to game number 1. So if the execution goes the same way, I really do think that Aura can repeat their success in game number 1.
Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to comment down below as well. Hashtag Aura Fire or hashtag Go ONIC. We're going to dive into the Land of Dawn right here as Aura will try to make it match point. ONIC trying to equalize in this game with the Valor pocket pick coming through once again. Godiva will be the one on the Grok. So I might have to say I agree with Eterna at this point, right? Whenever Fluffy plays a hero like the Hylos, they don't really perform well in the game. So ONIC, I feel like, has the better position, has the better draft in this game. High, though, already with aggressive movements into the enemy jungle, gets the orange buff and will have a 3-buff start early on.
I guess when it comes down to Aura Fire, there are two possible sources of playmaking, right? It either is Fluffy or it either is Godiva. So I don't really mind Godiva on the Grok. It does give them a little bit less of an advantage in the side lanes, to be honest. But let's just see how Godiva can actually fare on the Grok and what he can do, especially understanding that ONIC Esports, they have a very aggressive mid lane. I mean, the Baxia, the Matilda, and now with Keyboy on that Valier, look at this.
Ooh, aggressive plays from Facehugger and Godiva as well. I think what's interesting is that for the side of Aura Fire this time, there is no marksman essentially. So they're relying on Facehugger in that late game backline situation. So Kabuki, I think, will be also a very great source of playmaking potential with that Petrify and Furious Dive combo. If he lands it onto CW, the follow-up from Aura Fire can be deadly.
Again, ONIC Esports, they are drafting and are able to get it in towards that late game. So Aura Fire, I do think they have to finish it as soon as possible. There is a possibility that they can take it, like we've seen before, but what are the odds doing the same thing, repeating that same success, especially against a team like ONIC Esports? But there is 3 seconds on the clock here for the next neutral objective, and Aura Fire, they're quick to follow.
Well, Fluffy will be able to get the stun off onto Sans High, starting up the turtle right here as Boots comes in to follow up. Goes in for the falling Simon as well, but the Dawning Line will come through. High will be able to pick up the turtle with the help of the Retribution. Boots immobilized, ONIC moving back. Both teams disengaging, but Aura, once again, get the better trade.
You get the better trade, and Fluffy on the Hylos, it's not as dynamic, but he can still make plays kind of. When he goes for the Glorious Pathway and when he goes for those stuns will be very critical. We take a look at the bit of info from the emblems, and High, of course, itemizing, emblemizing, if that's even a word, for the farming, for the farming capabilities, and Kabuki is going for a bit more aggression, knowing that CW, he needs to actually survive in that lane, so he goes for that movement speed and damage as well. So it's a very volatile lane in the gold lane, and if Aura Fire can tip it in the balance of Kabuki, I think that will be very beneficial in their mid-game to late-game potential.
It does seem like the Beatrix is struggling in that gold lane, so it does seem like ONIC Esports, they are going...
Ooh.
They like to rotate towards that bottom side. They like to put pressure onto Kabuki as well on that Yuzong, but for the moment, it is Aura Fire still being more aggressive in a sense, as Samo nearly gets taken down there.
Ooh, Facehugger on that Savior, man. That's a lot of damage. You can't really underestimate him. Godiva is also very, very aggressive. As Mikro said, he does have the CC denial. He is going for the sprint, but he won't be able to secure the kill onto Samo as Fluffy gets pressured away from the jungle.
But this is so much time, actually, that he's been able to buy. Facehugger is going to be able to shove that wave, and Samo will miss that entire wave in the mid lane. Another brilliant play. A very small play, but a very good one in here. Facehugger will be dove on, still has a sprint to get out. And instantly, again, yeah, it's Samo missing out on the entire wave there.
Looking at the item difference, Clock of Destiny just secured now for Facehugger, whereas for Samo, the first item power spec is not there yet. So Aura Fire, if they go for a fight here, they do have the first item power spec advantage, as Kabuki has the War Axe as well. Boot seems to be going for Enchanted Talisman, so he is looking to be a lot more active in these fights instead of just being the main frontline for Aura Fire, for ONIC Esports.
Yeah, it seems like now ONIC Esports are going to be able to contest this neutral objective. Fluffy is already there to like hinder those movements.
Battle
Oh,
of Retribution.
what?
Oh, it's not. It's going to actually be the Roamer who picks it up for ONIC right now as Boots goes over to Falling Simon, gets two, but Dawning Light will come through. Fluffy now caught in the bad situation, knocked back to his team, but Kabuki is here with the Petrify. He does not use it though. He's still saving it. He just gets Boots down. Another trade. 1 kill for 1 kill. Both XP laners traded, but ONIC are the ones to pick up the neutral objective, so it is definitely worth it for ONIC.
And Keyboy of all people actually manages to claim it from the side of ONIC Esports. That dot is just so annoying at this moment from the side of ONIC Esports as Aura Fire are rotating towards his bottom side.
CW needs to be careful though. Kabuki has saved up his Petrify, so one furious dive and CW might have to say bye-bye. ONIC still holding on. They get the turret down below as well, so with Kabuki roaming aggressively into that mid lane, they punish Aura Fire's movement, and this is the ONIC that we expect in game number 1, but did not show up.
Exactly.
1,000 gold lead for the side of ONIC Esports right now. It might be more trades on the board for ONIC.
Yeah, Godiva still has his first ability, still can get out of here, but Sans is just ruthless. He just chases him down. Kabuki now needs to get out. Furious dive, but it will not help him. Samo just dashes in with the Wisps, gets him taken down. 1.5k built up for ONIC now.
You can see them on just Aura Fire just struggling a lot more to actually make that active play because they don't have the movement speed and the mobility, right, that they were having in the first game with Baxia being in the hands of High. Right now they go for another play though, Glorious Pathway.
Boots gets out though with the Falling Star Moon, and ONIC will be able to disengage out of that one. This is what this Valor provides for the team, and the Matilda, right? Matilda is already annoying by herself with her Guiding Wind that can really disengage from a lot of fights, but now with Keyboy knocking everyone back, it's so hard for Aura to look for these follow-ups or even look for the initial engage.
Exactly, and what Aura can do right now is also like go for the front to back essentially, and with Hylos being one of their main engage tools, they're just a lot more one-dimensional compared to previously where Godiva on Karida can just go from behind, right? Right now that drop will fall into the hands of High, but he's not really as dynamic as a Karida.
Well, Godiva's looking for the combo now. Keyboy will be able to flicker out, but a wild charge will still connect there. Glorious Pathway as Keyboy knocks him back, stuns him up. Godiva's going to be able to pick up the scraps though. A 1-for-0 trade as Aura try to pick up 1 kill. Wall is there. Samo still gets out. Sans and CW in that choke point. Needs to be careful. Kabuki still has the Petrify. Nibiru's Passion will be there for the side of CW to zone them away. Boots now looking for the trade once again onto High and Godiva. He does not have the Falling Star Moon. Aura Fire will be forced to back up. Dawning Light connects onto CW and Samo, but it does not take anyone down. Sans looking for the shield unity hit once again onto Facehugger, will get it, but again, no follow-up. I might be wrong though. CW with the snipes.
Ooh.
Does not get Facehugger, gets him low. Fluffy trying to follow up with the immobility that was set up by Facehugger, but again, what a great fight. But both of the teams, ONIC still come up ahead with the better position.
Yeah, 2 towers already taken down for the side of ONIC Esports as well, so they are leading in almost all categories. As now we're going to take a look at the items here in the 7th minute.
Right now, CW is in a lot better spot than Kabuki, and that is not a good sign. The idea is to use that Yutsong to actually shut down CW in the early game, but right now with the Blade of Despair and the Malefic Roar, he is doing a lot of damage and he is building up a gold advantage. And in the late game, ONIC Esports is the team with the advantage due to having a marksman. So Aura Fire, they're trying to force fights, but disengage from the side of ONIC Esports is just way too good.
Yeah,
It's so hard because even
yeah.
if they want to go for the same thing like they did before, the pickoffs is just not there.
Oh, there you go. Kabuki dives in. Will be able to get that pick off on the board. That is going to be another kill for the side of Aura. Samo dives deep, maybe a little bit too deep as Kabuki dives in once again, but will be stunned up by the shield unity from Sans. Dawning Light will come through. Basically trying to deal the damage from the backside, but it's going to be the snipes connecting onto him, threading the needle. CW was able to find Facehugger in that skirmish there, but Sans and Boots, they do not want to stop here. Falling Star Moon will be able to jump in under that turret, will not take Facehugger down though, as it's actually going to be the Retribution that takes him down in the end. Godiva still going in front, playing this very aggressively, even with no turret, and will be punished in the end. Just a 2-for-0 trade for the side of ONIC. Nibiru's Passion also. Wait, ONIC, they don't want to stop here. I feel like they still want to keep going. They're actually using this to bait out the Lord. Baxia has been munching on this Lord, and as we all know, the damage from Baxia to Lord to neutral objectives is just insane. He actually takes this Lord to a quarter of health all by himself, and they will be able to pick it up. Amazing, amazing objective conversion. by ONIC.
4,500 gold lead for the side of ONIC Esports now, as it is going to be them picking up the pace and having the tempo ahead of Aura Fire. And I just gotta say, I mean, even from the draft, it was very difficult for Aura Fire to do this because ONIC Esports were going for a similar thing in the game before. But the difference is now, Aura Fire, they don't have the Kadita to be able to get those pickoffs on the board, those really crazy plays. They are relying heavily onto Godiva, let's say, but even the Godiva can be deterred by Valier.
Exactly, it's just a different game right now because Hai does not have CC, he's on a Karina instead of being on a Boxia. And for Godiva, on a Grok and instead of a Kadita, it's a whole different situation because you can't really engage using a Grok unless you use your ultimate, which is quite different compared to Kadita. So Aura Fire, they're trying to force fights, and ONIC Esports, they just disengage and they just wait for Boots to just arrive and flying to the side of Aura Fire.
This is a very, very annoying strategy. Anti-fight, right? Basically, it's what ONIC are trying to do. They do not look for fights, they just look for sieges, and look, they're able to just bait out so many resources from the side of Aura, and just like that, they pick up another objective. They chain these little skirmishes to take objectives, and they don't look for fights. Always disengaging with the Matilda, with Keyboy on that Valor as well.
They can just play the kiting game and be satisfied with that because eventually it is going to really hurt onto the HP of the side of Aura Fire, especially with the DOT coming in from the Valier, all those AoE damage coming in from the Beatrix, or even the snipes that can actually protrude from her as well. And now ONIC Esports sitting at a 6,000 gold lead. Aura Fire, they're being caged into their own base.
Right, the fact that ONIC Esports also have a Beatrix, one of the best marksmen here to actually just siege and poke down turrets slowly but surely. They just have so much more options. And Boots, as you can see, just waiting for an opportunity. And if Aura Fire commits and uses their ultimates and doesn't get a fight, he just goes in.
He knows his limits on this hero, but this is not what I want to see from the side of Aura Fire. Karina was not built to look for split pushes, but they're forced to do this because they don't have pressure anywhere on the map. They need to look for trades somewhere, and it is going to be that bottom side. It is also going to be Hai who gets sent down there. But All-Star Showdown will be soon, guys. Hashtag West and for one, Arashi.
West and for one. Very interesting. Right now for Aura, though, they're looking for a play. Wild Charge as well as the follow-up.
Ooh, CW is at 1 HP. Kabuki will pop the Black Dragon form, and surely CW will fall this time around with a Wild Charge again by Godiva to silence him in this game. 4-6. 5,000 gold lead still by ONIC. Aura trying to push the pace this time around in the 11th minute of the game. Boots, though, he's looking for a re-engage. He has the Falling Star Moon. Doesn't really go for it just yet. Keyboy is providing the utility, burning Aura members.
5,000 gold lead still kept into the hands of ONIC Esports right now. Aura Fire were able to get a trade there, a pick, sorry, onto CW. But unfortunately, they couldn't do anything more than that. It is still ONIC Esports with a tempo, with all the pressure on the map. And Aura Fire, I guess they have to go for another pick. This Valier is just so annoying.
Absolutely, and if they go and focus down CW on the Beatrix, the damage coming from Keyboy in that late game with the Valor can actually still be quite the problem. So they have a lot of issues to deal with. And just to pick off CW, they have to use so many things. The Wild Charge, the Black Dragon form, as well as the Petrify. So I really think they have to try and outmaneuver ONIC somehow, because otherwise it's just too much resources being used to try and pick off one member. Whereas Keyboy right now with the Ice Queens 1 will be starting to do a lot more damage. It's going to be quite annoying to deal with.
As long as Keyboy is able to hit those skills on to the enemy, he's going to be able to spam it. And every second time it hits, the stun comes in, and it's just so much.
So annoying.
Oh.
Anti-fight. Oh no, oh my goodness, that Dawning Light almost just steals it away. But it is going to be ONIC jumping on to Godiva. Aura Fire still managing to back up ONIC. The anti-fight composition is working wonders right now. They're just using this to, again, take over the game with objectives. They're not looking for kills at all. They don't want to fight.
Yeah, they don't. And as we're taking a look at the real-time win probability presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series, it does still favor ONIC with a 66% as they're going for the siege.
Let's see, Sans diving to the backside. Facehugger will be able to run away, but that's the retribution placed onto him. Boots is looking for something, gets stunned up there in the backside. Hai dives in. Kabuki picks up the kill with a Petrify onto CW. It is a 1-for-1 right now. Hai for CW. Aura Fire still able to withstand for now, but it's going to be the box shot. Chain CC'd in that bottom side. He still gets away with the help of the Guiding Wind, and Godiva gets slammed back into the wall. Facehugger does not deal enough damage to take anyone down, but but Samo, he dives in with the circling eagle. Facehugger trying to defend, trying to survive. Samo, one more basic attack will do it. He gets it, and ONIC will be able to take this base down. Kabuki on the defense. Actually, ONIC still able to run away. Falling Samo going to be able to connect right now as Kabuki tries to defend. That is the minion waves finally crashing onto the base. ONIC have cleared out the aura minions, and Samo will just go in for the damage towards the base. Kabuki trying to defend once again. The minions are there and will be cleared. Aura to survive another day, but ONIC, wow, 3 base turrets in 14 minutes.
That was so close for ONIC Esports being able to just win it then and there. The base is at half HP. But now it seems like ONIC Esports, once again, they are still looking for neutral objectives on the board. 8,000 gold lead. Godiva now running for his life.
Right, I mean, the fact is that in that fight, despite ONIC Esports essentially being unable to end the game, OraFire were unable to secure any real meaningful shutdowns from the side of ONIC Esports. So, take from that what you will. Keyboy will build a Brute Force Breastplate, so he's playing full utility, full tank, and Samo HT with a very similar situation. He goes for the Enchanted Talisman, he goes for the Oracle, for those bigger shieldings, and he is essentially just there to provide utility, right? To make sure that his friends have an escape route, and if they really want to chase, the Circling Eagle can come in very handy as well. And right now, they go for the check into the bush, and Circling Eagle is used.
Oh, I don't think that was a good move here. Samo, ONIC, they do not want to look for a fight, but maybe they do. Kabuki gets bursted down by CW? Technically, the only damage that can come from is from CW here, but Falling Simon will connect out to high, placing him into that immobilized state. It is going to be CW with the Nibiru's passion as well, with Nibiru just chunking everyone low. Fluffy has the back high and Facehugger as well. Godiva will fall, and ONIC just run wild on the base. CW looking for the siege. Fluffy still able to dismantle this team fight, and will still be able to defend once again. They just clear out the waves. Fluffy on the defense on that top side. They're looking for the base again. CW is just wreaking havoc. High and Facehugger will not be able to withstand the damage. ONIC equalize in game 2.
1-1 for both OraFire as well as ONIC Esports, as once again ONIC Esports playing the mind games here, really winning it, out maneuvering, outsmarting OraFire in terms of the draft, and it was a sight to behold.
Absolutely, man. I think Aura was trying to look for the same thing, the same playstyle, but not without the same tools. So it was just very difficult